So what if I told you the future is coming at us so fast that one of the biggest, most powerful companies on the planet is about to become a relic? According to brain scientist and AI expert Professor Kim Dae-shik, we're not just looking at a new gadget or app. Nope, we're on the verge of a revolution that could completely reshape our world.
And we're going to start with that absolute bombshell. Just let that sink in for a second. Apple, going the way of Nokia. You remember Nokia, right? The undisputed kings of the mobile phone world who then just, poof, vanished. How could that possibly happen to Apple? Well, to get it, we've got to look at how we got here in the first place.
You see, what we're talking about here is something called creative destruction. It's this idea that every time a massive new innovation comes along, it doesn't just add to the world, it completely destroys the old one. Nokia's greatest strength, making amazing hardware, became its biggest weakness when software took over. And Professor Kim thinks we're seeing the first signs of history repeating itself. This little chart tells you everything you need to know. See, Nokia was a hardware company. To them, a smartphone was just a phone with the internet kind of bolted on. But Apple was an IT company. They saw it as a tiny computer that could, also make calls. That difference in their corporate DNA, that was everything. So the billion-dollar question now is, who has the right DNA for the AI era?
And this is the key. This isn't about whether the next iPhone has a slightly better camera or a faster chip. Professor Kim's argument is that the problem is way, way deeper. It's literally baked into Apple's culture, a culture that was absolutely perfect for winning the smartphone war, but is completely fundamentally wrong for the AI revolution that's happening right now.
So what makes this AI revolution so different? Well, for one, it's not being built in some top-secret, perfectly clean lab by a handful of geniuses. It's being built out in the open by thousands of people all over the world, and it's moving at a speed that is just dizzying, and that creates a massive culture clash.
And boom, here's the conflict, plain and simple. Apple is perfectionist. They wait years to release a flawless product. The AI world, they throw out a beta version, see what breaks, and fix it on the fly. It's like they are literally rebuilding the engine while the plane is in mid-flight. Apple is all about secrecy. AI runs on open source code that everyone shares. At its heart, Apple is a hardware company, but AI is a software game, through and through.
This quote says it all. It explains why the smartest people in AI are not flocking to Apple. Think about it. In the world of AI research, you make a name for yourself by publishing papers, by sharing your breakthroughs. At Apple, that's a big no-no. Everything is secret. So if you're at the top of your game, why would you go there and just vanish? The simple answer is you wouldn't. And if you can't get the best talent, you can't win the race.
And you know what? The history of AI totally backs this up. The big breakthrough didn't come from some perfectly executed corporate plan. It came after a 60-year-long AI winter where pretty much everyone had given up. A few researchers who just wouldn't quit had this crazy idea to use gaming graphics cards, NVIDIA GPUs, to train their models. It was this scrappy, bottom-up hack that changed the entire world.
Okay, so if the culture that's building AI is totally different, it only makes sense that the devices we use to access it are going to be totally different too. The smartphone was the perfect interface for the internet, but for the age of AI, it's starting to look a little clunky.
So, what's next? What is that killer device for the AI era? Well, here's a hint. It's probably not a phone. I mean, let's be real. A lot of young people today already hate actually talking on the phone. The device's main purpose is already changing, and the next jump is going to be even bigger.
This is where things like smart glasses come into the picture. Just imagine a device that is always on, hands-free, and sees the world exactly as you see it. It knows your context. So you walk past a bike shop, and because it knows you've been looking at bikes online, it could just whisper in your ear, hey, that bike you wanted, it's in stock right here, and it's 20% off.
And that right there is the huge shift. We're moving away from actively searching for stuff to passively receiving help that is perfectly timed and perfectly relevant. The AI just anticipates what you need based on what you're literally looking at. All of a sudden, pulling a phone out of your pocket to type something feels, well, it feels ancient.
Okay, and all of this is leading us somewhere huge. We're not just talking about getting a smarter Siri. We are talking about the birth of a brand new type of intelligence on planet Earth.
And that is artificial general intelligence, or AGI. You see, the AI we have today, like ChatGPT, is amazing, but it's narrow. It's good at one thing. AGI can do pretty much any intellectual job a human can, and, let's be honest, probably do it a whole lot better.
Now, here is the part that should really make you sit up and pay attention. This is not science fiction. This is not 100 years away. Top experts in the world, including the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, think we could have AGI in the next 5 to 10 years. That means pretty much all of us will see this happen in our lifetime.
So what makes AGI so different, so revolutionary? Well, think about every tool humans have ever made. A hammer can't design a better hammer. A car can't make itself go faster. They all need us, a human, to improve them. But an AGI, it could improve itself. And that ability to recursively self-improve is what makes it so unbelievably powerful and, frankly, kind of terrifying.
Which brings us to the last and maybe the most important part of all this. What happens to our world when an intelligence that is smarter than us and can improve itself arrives? What does that do to our jobs, our economy, our whole society?
Well, for all of human history, economics has had a pretty simple formula. You need labor, people doing stuff, and you need capital, money and tools to create value. But in a world with AGI, where intelligent labor is basically infinite and almost free, that labor part of the equation, it just kind of gets crossed out. Production becomes all about capital. Who owns the AGI?
Just really think about that for a minute. For almost everyone who makes a living by selling their labor, whether you're a writer, a coder, a driver, a doctor, the economic value of that work could fall towards zero. The only thing that will really matter for creating wealth is owning the capital, owning the AI itself.
And if that happens, we could end up with a society that looks a whole lot like the Middle Ages. You'd have a tiny group at the top, the new tech lords who own the AGI. Then you'd have a small class of entertainers and influencers, the people who can still capture our attention. And then there's everyone else. The other 95%, maybe living on some kind of universal basic income provided by the machines.
And this is where it gets really dark. Because in that world, where the vast majority of people aren't working, aren't contributing economically, aren't paying taxes, a horrible question starts to get asked. From the point of view of the tech lords who own everything, why should the non-working majority get a say in how things are run?
And the logical end to that thought is, maybe they shouldn't. The very foundation of our world, this idea of universal democracy, could just crumble. The technology that promises to create unbelievable wealth and solve all our problems could, paradoxically, be the very thing that ends our political freedom.
Look, AI has the potential to cure diseases, to end poverty, to give us unlimited clean energy. It could be a utopia. But as this deep dive shows us, that utopia might come with a price tag that is just staggering. So the real question that we all have to start asking ourselves is, are we willing to pay it?